I'm pretty heavily against what is called ability pruning, and I was thinking about maybe using some of my ideas to create like a fucking, I guess, like a template for what I think Warlock should look like as UA or something like that in Legion, or like how I feel like their design should be as opposed to what it is now. Don't think it's going to get picked up by Blizzard, but I feel like it's kind of a cool idea. Character model pruned. Character model is pruned. No joke. You no longer have a body, you're just armor running around. Lol. And first things first, I want to show you guys like what the rotation is as UA for Legion. You have 4 attack buttons. You have Unstable Affliction, which is a shard. You have Corruption, you have Agony, and your filler spell is Drain Life. Incredibly unfun, incredibly stale, incredibly boring, incredibly the most ridiculously bad game design I've ever seen in my entire life. Whoever made Warlock for Legion should get fired. It's just, you have to spam UA on one target to do damage. Like, holy shit. Clunky as fuck. Yep. Haunt gone. Haunt is basically gone. And if you do decide to talent into it, which is the worst talent, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't increase your damage anymore. All it does is it does a little bit of burst. Not that exciting. I'll break it down for you guys, alright? So like, for example, Legion, Warlock. Alright? Rotation. UA, Soul Shard, Corruption, Agony, Drain Life, Filler. That's it. That's Legion Warlock for you right there. Okay? I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Absolutely not whatsoever. What I was thinking about earlier today is, yo, I gotta reset, man. I hate waiting. Yo, I hate waiting, me too. Let me get some hashtag method wait in the chat, baby. So, I thought I really hated the new Soul Shard system. I'm like, man, I fucking hate the new Soul Shard system. I despise the new, I hate it. I hate that Soul Shard costs a Haunt. I hate that I hate that Haunt costs a Soul Shard. I hate that UA costs a Soul Shard. And you know what hit me? I don't hate the new Soul Shard system. I hate the fact that they're making it rotational. You know what I mean? Back in Cataclysm, when Soul Shard worked on Port, it worked on Drain Life, it worked on, what's it called? It worked on Hellstone. That's when Soul Shards felt cool. You didn't need Soul Shards to perform your rotation. You used Soul Shards to empower your abilities. That, to me, feels way smoother. You know, doing a Soul Burn Hellstone, doing a Soul Burn Port, doing a Soul Burn Drain Life, doing a Soul Burn Summon Pet.
Fuck this game.
You know?
I hate everything. I'm quitting.
I think that's a lot cooler, in my opinion. Mop ruined the Soul Shard system. I agree. In Cataclysm, it was actually, it was prime in Cataclysm. Absolutely prime. So, I think that's the system that I want to see come back. I don't want it to be a part of your rotation. That just seems incredibly terrible. What I want to do is just give you guys like a template of what I think should be Warlock's class design. And you guys might not agree with me here, but we'll do my idea. Alright. So number 1, let's copy and paste here. This is the comical part, okay? This is the way the damage breakdown looks as of right now in WoD. I don't know if it carries over in Legion, but ironically, your instant cast are your highest damage dealing abilities, okay? So number 1, the first thing I'm going to change about UA is, guess what? UA is now your highest damage dealing ability. No ifs, no ands, no buts. It will never, Corruption nor fucking Agony will tick higher than UA. If you cast an ability, you are rewarded for casting an ability. You don't just fucking put up dots on everyone. I don't like it. Not whatsoever. I think it's a really bad design. Number 2, I think Corruption is pretty safe to say. It can be your second highest ability. Number 3, Agony. I think Agony is probably one of your weaker abilities. It's kind of hard for me to say I want Agony to be the weaker ability because I don't know how weaker should be, but Agony I don't think should be stacks anymore. I think it should be the way it used to be. 24 seconds long. You're missing an honor talent. Wait, which honor talent? Do you get something that does damage in honor? Doesn't look like it. This is just the rotation. This is the rotation for Legion. That's all it is. These are your only damaging abilities. But I'm trying to list them in order I think what will do the most damage. Agony stacks literally trigger me because retard enhanced shamans sit there decursing them every 8 seconds. Yeah, I also think that it kind of makes people want to decurse a little bit more. But either way, The reason I don't like the stacks of agony is because I don't think you should have full ramp up time on agony. I think that when you re-agony, it should reset the damage and it continues to start ramping up, and that's how it used to be. I don't think keeping agony up on one person, there might be a skill cap in it keeping it up, but I feel like Warlocks should ramp their damage up over time, and once it like gets refreshed or dispelled or fucking renewed or whatever, you start ramping up the agony damage over time again. So we'll change this to a ramp up. The original design basically is what it is. I'm not being innovative here. Okay, Haunt. We're obviously going to add Haunt back. 20% dot shadow dot damage. This doesn't do damage. Healed when dispelled or removed or whatever. Okay, or expires. So for however much damage your Haunt does, that heals you. I think that was a pretty cool, non-overpowered self-healing. The original Haunt. Nothing changed. Same as it was in Wrath of the Lich King. Same as it was in Kata. You cast a Haunt, it increases your shadow dot damage by 20%. It heals when it gets dispelled or expires. A little tiny bit of self-healing. I don't think that's overpowered whatsoever. What's with the fucking Affliction Lock? I feel like they just ruined such an amazingly designed class, and I have to get my ideas out on it, basically. Nothing too crazy, alright? So, let's get a little crazy now. So this is pretty standard. This is what you guys are used to. These 4 buttons, whatever. First things first, in what world can you remove Shadow Bolt? You know, it's so beyond me. It doesn't matter how much damage it does, but Nightfall procs need to come back, in my opinion. Instant Shadow Bolt with Nightfall was amazing. Doesn't have to do much damage. I think I remember Shadow Bolt hitting for around 4k in Wrath of the Lich King when people had about 30k health pools. Kind of shows how much damage it actually did. But yeah, Legion isn't Prune, it's a Raisin. Nightfall procs for the win. I think Nightfall was super fucking fun. I think it was a lot of fun to just shoot out instant Shadow Bolt procs. But the thing is, shooting out instant procs is normally scary when it does a lot of damage, right? So Shadow Bolt won't do that much damage, but it'll make you feel like it's somewhat useful, I guess. Obviously, Drain Life, not really a filler. Drain Life, situationally used if needing health. You know, it's not going to be a filler. Debating Drain Mana, if Drain Mana should come back. I'm not going to really put that in here.
Cost ASS but refunded when it expires or dispelled, rewarded for timing it, etc.
I'm kind of confused on the idea there. If Haunt costs a soul shard and you get it back every single time the Haunt goes away, isn't that like it not costing a soul shard? Yeah, Shadow Embrace is something that was pretty cool, but I don't know if that's necessarily wanted or needed. Either way, curses are definitely coming back in my idea for what the game should be. So I'm just doing damage abilities right now. Okay, no ifs, ands, or buts. Shadow Flame should do weak damage in my opinion. It should do some sort of dot, but I really like the 70% snare mechanic. Warlocks kind of get destroyed. I think having Shadow Flame, it has a really high snare, but in the same sense, like it's kind of constricted by the range on it, I guess. What else was I thinking about here for damage? So you have UA, you have Corruption, you have Haunt, you have Shadow Bolt, you have Drain Life. I actually, you guys might hate me for saying this. I kind of liked Immolate or Siphon Life. I think one of those, just one extra little dot that is situational. Neither Immolate or Siphon Life will do that much damage, but if you're choosing to Immolate for like a little bit extra rot, or if you get pummeled, maybe you guys don't like this, and if you don't, I agree. If you get pummeled out on a UA, you could cast Immolate. It wouldn't do much damage. Maybe you guys don't like that. I like Siphon Life because I think Siphon Life is something, you know, it's not going to be a lot of damage over time, but if you're using it, you're using the global consciously to heal yourself, which means it's not tied in with the corruption no more. So you can't just corruption 5 people and get the full benefit of the Siphon Life, but you're actually going out of your way to use a global to lower your damage to make sure that you have more health. You know what I mean? So maybe let's just cut Immolate right here and just make Siphon Life another dot. It seems weird getting another instant dot, but in reality it's not that much damage, and it's not going to be like a lot of damage. It's actually probably going to lower your damage. But to make a conscious decision whether to use Siphon Life and not just have it tied into corruption, I feel like is something that's a cool idea. Also, I think that something in the UA tree should do more damage based off like your dots, kind of like how Shadow Bite used to work, and Siphon Life would benefit that. So maybe something like that. And also, I think last but not least, I think Searing Pain, just to have it, it's not going to do much damage in my opinion, but just to have something that makes you feel like you're not completely worthless. But yeah. So the reason I don't like Immolate but I like Searing Pain is because putting a dot up on someone is way more effective than just kind of like hitting someone for, let's say, with 200 million HP or 2 million HP, hitting someone for 50k. Just like a little bit of something, just like boom, 50k, I got locked out. All right, I move on with my life. I feel like Searing Pain, there was no need to get rid of it. Wasn't Searing Pain useless? Searing Pain is only useless if you don't want to kill totems, which is actually a pretty big deal, or if you're not locked out. Having more than one tree would be fucking amazing. 2 million HP? Yeah, 2 million HP is pretty fucking AIDS. So Searing Pain, I think it's an okay add. Also, maybe bring back the threat thing on it. That way, if you ever feel like pulling aggro off your pet or something, I don't fucking know. Alright, so then we're going to go into curses. Right now, curses for Legion, you have Agony, and then you have Tongues, Weakness, or Fragility. So, you have a total of 2 options. Alright? You either do damage or reduce damage, basically. It's kind of hard to explain. It's such a like, you either agony or you don't agony. You know what I mean? There should be, number 1, there should be agony. You should have tongues. You should have weakness. You don't really need recklessness. You should have elements. What are some of the other ones? Oh, the biggest one is fucking, what's it called? Exhaustion. And this is what is like choices. These are choices, you know? Do I want to slow this guy? Do I want to elements this guy? Do I want to make this guy do less damage? Do I want to slow down his cast speed? Or do I want to do more damage? Recklessness? I don't think recklessness is something that needs to be in the game. I understand it. Oh, Doom. I actually really like Doom. Totally like Doom. I'm not happy they got rid of Doom. Exhaustion's old school? Exhaustion's not really that old school. It's really not that old school. That's the thing. That's the craziest part about it. Fel Flame to reset dots? No, I think that's actually a really bad idea. I think Fel Flame to reset dots is actually a very, very, very bad idea. Demon Armor, Fel Armor are no-brainers in my point. I think Coil should do damage again, but that's whatever. I think Howl should be baseline again. I think Coil should be baseline. It's kind of like this. Maybe you guys don't agree with Coil and Howl, that's okay, but... So, you're taking this right here, and I kind of like some of the things that they added. I think Soul Effigy is actually pretty cool. I think the thing that like summons the random ads that you can kill for like haste or something is pretty cool. I do like that. So I'm okay with those abilities. I think those are actually pretty cool ideas. I think Soul Swap should be burned. I think Soul Swap should never come back. I think Soul Swap should never come back. I like Nether Ward. I do like Nether Ward. But yeah, either way. So, please no Soul Effigy. It's so fucking clunky. I don't think it's that clunky in reality. You know, you cast it on someone, and then you just do your regular rotation, and if you keep dots up on the effigy does more damage to the person you cast it on. It's actually pretty simple, to be honest. If you have a Searing Pain, you don't really need Fel Flame. The dot refreshing aspect of it wasn't needed. Yeah, I agree. Searing Pain is just a better replacement. Like making your own? Wait, what do you mean? Any thoughts of new abilities for locks? I was thinking about new abilities for locks, but I actually think Soul Effigy is pretty cool. I don't think there's anything crazy with it. When I think about Warlock, I think about like, it's like at least UA. I think about like a damage dealing over time class that kind of like sacrifices their own life, you know, their own health, their own resources to like hurt their opponent. I'm not really sure. I'm not that innovative when it comes to like making new abilities. I don't think releasing a new dot would be a good idea. I think it could be cool to maybe give UA Warlocks maybe something that consumes all of your dots on a cast time to do like a big burst. And yeah, I don't think Drain Soul was needed either, by the way, guys. Drain Soul is not really in the current build. I don't think Drain Soul was necessarily good for the game to like do that massive execute. I don't really think that was necessary. So I don't actually have Drain Soul in my build either. So there is some things that I think can get pruned that aren't the end of the world. That would be cool as fuck. There you go. Put it in there. New idea. Casted damage ability that consumes dots for more damage or something. There you go. Basically Genesis for Warlocks? Kind of, yeah, but this would be casted and you would definitely know it's coming. But yeah, either way. So maybe some finishing power for a Warlock, you know? Like you have your Siphon Life up, you have your Haunt up, you have your Agony up, you have your Corruption up, you have your UA up, and then you cast like fucking, I don't know, what could it be called? Maybe it could actually just be called Drain Soul. Just renamed to a new ability. I don't fucking know. I don't consume power, consume soul maybe. I don't fucking know. Shadowburn but better? Well, Shadowburn's instant. This wouldn't be instant. I think it should have a reasonable cast time depending on how much damage it does. But there you go. That's basically Mind Spike you're talking about. I don't think Mind Spike deals more damage per dot that you have. But Mind Spike does take off the current dots that you have. But I think it's cool to like kind of give the Warlock an option if they want to burst to do like some sort of nuke. You know what I mean? Soul Harvest. Maybe. You forgot Drain Soul, actually? No, I actually purposely don't have Drain Soul in here because I don't think the Execute type ability is necessarily needed for Warlocks. Old School can flag. Yeah, kind of like Old School can flag, but this would do like a little bit more. So, basically, this is what we have in Legion, okay? It's pretty simple. You put up UA if you have a Soul Shard. You put up Corruption. You put up Agony. If you have nothing else to do, you drain life. I don't like it. It feels like you're missing so much, okay? You look at what I have here, alright? You never run out of Soul Shards for rotation. Soul Shards are only used for non-rotational abilities. And what I mean by this is, you know, you could Soul Burn Hellstone. Alright? It gives you a last stand, just like it used to. Soulburn Port, Sprint. Although I don't think Soulburn Port should actually give you freedom. I think that's a little much.
Not taking Blizzard's shit anymore. Good job.
Yo, T-Zerk, man, I appreciate that. Obviously, Soulburn Pet, Instant Cast. Soulburn, fucking, what's it called? Soulburn Drain. Maybe you could Soulburn Shadow Flame and do an AoE root. That sounds like a cool idea. Soulburn Shadow Flame, AoE root. Doesn't have to be long.
If Blizz ever
2 seconds, 4 seconds.
To work for them to help develop and work on classes, how?
No,
you are doing.
not instant
Would you take
fear.
it?
I mean, obviously, there's a lot that's kind of like a loaded question. If it was just easy, the simple answer I guess would be yes. But it's how much are they paying me? Do I have to move to California? If I do move to California, I have to pay an exit fee for my house in New Jersey. Because if I sell my house and don't buy another house in New Jersey, 30% of what I sell my house for goes to New Jersey because I'm in a pretty shitty state. Like, there's actually a lot more to that. Soulburn Curse to apply at AoE. That sounds a little bit too powerful to me. I don't know if I like the idea of like soul burning. Maybe that's not actually that powerful. Soul burning elements up on everyone seems kind of crazy. Soul burning, like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm sorry. Soul burning fucking tongues up on a whole team. But yeah, Soul Burn Shadow Flame stun is 4 seconds. I really don't like UA Warlocks having a stun. I don't like it. Like, Shadow Fury right now seems really bad for UA Warlocks. Soul Burn Coil heals for more. I like that, actually. Soul Burn Coil, let's say, increases damage and healing, because I think that Coil should do damage. So basically what I'm saying is I thought the new Soul Shard system sucked, but the Soul Shard system is actually really cool for non-rotational abilities. It feels so clunky to be like, oh my god, I want to haunt this guy. Oh wait, I don't have a shard. Oh my god, I can't get UA up. I don't have a shard. It just doesn't really feel good. So basically what we're doing here is I want to bring back Haunt, and I want to bring back the original version of Haunt. No Soul Shard, 20% dot damage, heal when Dispelled or expires. Boom. Bring back Shadow Bolt to UA. I feel like this should be the filler spell, not Drain Life. Drain Life should be situationally used if you need health. That's it. It's not your fucking filler. So Shadow Bolt is now your filler spell. Nightfall procs were super fucking cool. I love Nightfall. Bring it back. Shadow Flame, pretty weak damage, but it does apply a dot, which would increase the new idea. Let's just Devour Soul. I don't know. Fuck it. Something lame. Okay? Devour Soul. Okay? So Shadow Flame would increase the damage you Devour Soul. Whatever. Weak damage, 70% snare. I always like Shadow Flame. The coolest abilities, I think, that was removed. Siphon Life, I think, is pretty good. Mainly because I think having it tied in with Corruption is really bad. I think that having Siphon Life, you know, kind of makes you choose between, do I want to do a little extra damage, get a Corruption, get an Agony up, or do I want to be a little bit more safe and just kind of like, you know, get my Siphon Life up. I don't think it should do much damage. It should tick for exactly how much it heals for, which would be like maybe 1% or something. New idea for an ability. Something that can consume all of your dots and exchange for something that makes you do all the dot damage immediately or something like that. Something like that. I think it's pretty cool. Curses, without a doubt, need to come back in my mind. I think curses were probably one of the biggest skill caps for Warlocks. You know, keeping your curses up full time, having to make those decisions between which curses you want to use.
It's the only curse you can keep up. It does minimal damage, but heals you for a percentage of your target being healed. What do you think?
Wait, it's the only curse you can keep up. So obviously you mean one curse at a time, I assume. It does minimal damage, but heals you for a percentage of your target being healed. That's actually kind of a cool idea. So you could put a curse on someone for you get healed for a percentage of what they get healed. That's actually a really fucking cool idea. That's a really cool idea. I like that a lot. Yo, Mount 52 Gaming, thank you for the sub, man. So if you're getting trained by, like, let's say a TSG, and your main target is Death Knight, maybe that's what Siphon Soul could be, or whatever, Siphon Life. You put your fucking your Siphon on them, and you get healed for a percentage of what they get healed for. So, doesn't have to be much, but it's kind of cool. So it's like Beacon for Holy Pally, kind of, but you have to keep in mind that you're giving up some damage for it if it turns out to be a curse. But either way, another thing that should be added back for Warlock without a doubt, Demon Armor, Fel Armor. This was no reason to remove it, man. Same reason there's no reason to remove Water Shield or like Lightning Shield or anything like that. It just bugs me so much. I was always a really big fan of having both Howl and Coil for Warlocks. I thought it was really cool. Maybe you guys disagree. I don't really see the big deal. I think Shadow Fury is honestly... I would rather fight a Warlock with Howl and Coil than Shadow Fury any day of the week. I think Shadow Fury was really, really bad for UA Warlocks. Soul Shards being used for non-rotation abilities I think makes the class feel really smooth. Cdew Soulburn Dot because your next dot is slow. Nope. You have Curse of Exhaustion and you have Shadow Flame. You don't need that. So this right here would be my idea for what a Warlock would be. I think Soul Swap's really bad for the game. I don't think it should ever exist. I do like Soul Effigy though. I could totally see Soul Effigy staying in the game. And other than that, I mean, it's basically kind of new Warlock with new abilities. You know, old school Warlock with new abilities. Devour Soul kind of just made it up, and Soul Effigy. Nothing crazy, but I guarantee you, you know, this layout right here. If you showed a Warlock this, you show them the Legion rotation, and then you show them the Cdew rotation. You know, I'm going to be getting fucking calls up on the phone trying to fucking start, you know, game designing over here.